Thank you everyone for joining the SharePoint admin session. Very proud and excited to be here in front of you today to represent the great work the team has done over the last 12 months. We have an action-packed session for you. We'll be spending the majority of the time on demos of some of the new features and capabilities that we'll be releasing to you soon as we all get back from the event, as well as some demos and some insights into what's next to expect in the admin world, things that we hope to bring to you later in the year and into early next year. I'm Deiter Jansen. I'm a SharePoint admin design manager. With me is Trent.
I'm Trent Green, a program manager on the SharePoint admin team.
Awesome. I want to quick do a show of hands. Who all was at the keynote yesterday? Right, the majority of us. Great. So Navjot presented some of the work already that we'll be touching on today. So you've seen some of the exciting work that's coming up. We'll take it much further. We have a lot more to show, more exciting announcements to make. So it should be an exciting session. I want to get started by highlighting the fact that there's a designer on stage today. Who would have thought that a few years ago, right? A designer presenting IT admin experience? Not me. It's a true testimony to the work and the commitment that we have done over the last few years, a year and a half, 2 years ago. We started the journey back then, and that journey we started based on very clear feedback from all of you. SharePoint admin had become too complicated. You needed a PhD to do your work. SharePoint had been modernized, but not the admin space. So we started by modernizing some of the key experiences like site management, settings, policies. And by this time frame, this event last year, we announced a preview showing that work that we had done and give you a little bit of an insight of the direction that we're taking and where we're heading. We continued throughout the year last year, and we released a wave 2. We call them waves internally. These are big sets of features and enhancements that we're rolling out, that we're releasing out to you. By Ignite timeframe last year, we had a big set of new features and capabilities that we released to you, and with that, we gave the admin the ability to opt in to using this new experience as a default experience. By the end of the year, we had over 13,000 tenants opt in to using this new experience as their default. So encouraged by that, we continued the journey, and that brings us to where we are today. So today, we have more stuff coming towards you. So we have another wave, another set of enhancements, of capabilities, features coming to you soon. We hope to release it in the June timeframe. Really exciting work, and we think with that, with all the work that we've done throughout the journey, we feel very comfortable to tell you, like, this is where you should be doing your work. This new ideal admin experience, this is what you should make your default, and this is where you should be doing your work. We're very comfortable with that, and we currently, every new tenant that's being provisioned is being provisioned with this new experience as their default. We hope that by the end of this session, you agree with us and you see like this is the right next step for you as well. And we're not going to stop there. We are already working towards a strong roadmap and vision that we have for what is next in this space. We call it Delight, because we want to take the experience a step way beyond just improving the experience. We want to delight you and bring more power and simplicity to you in your day-to-day work. Exciting work there ahead. So these last two buckets, where we are today, what we will be releasing, is our first half of the session. Both Trent and I will be demoing this work. And then the second half of the session will spend on to what you can expect next, things that we're looking at to present to you at Ignite that we want to release to you hopefully by the end of the year, early next year. So what better place to start than today? So today, as I mentioned, we have another big set of features and capabilities ready to go out to you, ready to release, hopefully within the next month. We call them simple and powerful tools. Most of that work that you'll see here, and the work that we've done really throughout the entire journey is based on feedback from you. Everything that we do is for you. We want to make sure that the experience that we create works for you, that it helps you be successful, that it helps you be productive, that helps you to open up collaboration across your organization, allow your users to take advantage of all the M365, Microsoft 365 tools that are out there. So feedback is really important to us, your feedback. We want your feedback. Quick one to do a show of hands, like who provides feedback to us through the feedback button on the tool? Okay, great. Those all, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. It truly helps making the product stronger. It helps everything that we do, from the designs that we do, decisions that we make, priorities that we make, to the code that we develop and release. It makes a true impact. So I would encourage each and every one of you to please continue giving us feedback. Like I mentioned, we want to make sure that we make you successful, and we really appreciate that feedback. We listen to it and we react to it. I think we'll go through the demos and we'll call out the things that we hear. In general, most feedback that we hear is, yeah, this is much better than where we came from. It's more intuitive, it's faster, it's more simple. But you know, we're on this journey, and there's still some things that have been missing between the old Admin Center and the new. So it's something that we're working towards addressing. We've received thousands and thousands of individual pieces of feedback throughout the journey. As a product team, we go through every single piece of them, every little piece of feedback that we receive, we go through, we categorize it, and we see how we can react to it and address it. With that, let me jump into demos and actually show you that work that we have available for you. One thing I want to call out is that we will be presenting, both Trent and I will be presenting through the eyes of Megan Bowen. Megan is the SharePoint IT admin for Contoso Electronics. We'll follow her in her journey as she enters this new admin experience, which is up on the screen here. So as Megan enters the new admin experience, it's a welcome message. And as she enters the experience, she sees now one of those blue things popping up. These are in-product teaching moments. We're introducing these to you because we know, as we are on a journey, you're as well. You're in this transition from something old to something new, something more modern. Even though that it's much more intuitive, the navigation and the structure, you're still working in something new, something that's new for you. We want to make sure that things that we know are important to you, site management, which is active sites here now, we know that's really important to you, so we want to call that out in the UI, so you don't have to go and try to find for it. Very clear feedback that we've heard from you with this being a new UI. We call out the things, so we make it very easy for you to understand like where the things are that we want you to look at, that we know are important to you. Active sites is being one of them. So we click next. There's another teaching bubble that should be popping up that is classic features. So we see on the left-hand navigation, let me hover over this. It's a new feature that we introduced that we're really excited about, and this is something that we're reacting to based on, I think, very clear feedback. This is one of the top pieces of feedback that we have received. Like, yes, you like this new experience, but there's so many more features and settings in the old Admin Center that we have not yet modernized and brought into the new UI. This feature will absolutely help you with that. So as we jump into this experience, you see across the top we have four. The key four, the one that we know you care about most, of the classic features like term store, user profile, search, apps. We brought these into the new UI front and center. So you can address them straight from here. Even though they're not modernized, you can jump into term store and manage term store administrations straight from there. There's an entry point. It takes you to a new tab, clean page. You do your work, you save it, and you go back to your previous tab and continue your work. So we want to make sure that we address your feedback. You don't have to go back and forth between different admin centers. You can do everything straight from this new experience. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, thank you. And we brought not just those four over. We know like these are the key ones. We know that that's where you do a lot of work. All the other features are here as well. Same thing is true for settings. So for settings, we had already moved over some of the settings into the modern experience, like notifications, site storage limits, site creation. We know there's a lot more in the old admin center, so we made that link available right below. If you don't find the setting that you're looking for, same experience opens up a tab. It gives you access to all these settings right from here, from this page. Sharing, I'll just quick call out. This is one that we actually already have invested and brought over. We continue to improve this page and this experience, but it's already brought here to you to make it very simple to manage sharing settings for your organization in OneDrive and SharePoint. So this was all the first bucket, something we reacted to that we heard very clearly, like you had to jump back and forth between two admin centers, which is not the best experience. So we want to take care of that and make all of that available to you right into the new experience. Jump into the active sites. So Megan jumps into the active sites, and the first thing that Megan notices is that there's a large set of sites in this view. that set is larger than what she was familiar with in the old admin center. And that's because in the old admin center, site management page, we only showed IT provision sites. Here we show all the user-created sites as well. So you have a clear view of all the sites that have been created, so you have visibility into it and you can manage it straight from here. Something we want to call out, different from the old admin center where you go through, you have to click through pagination and pagination to go through the next set. You can just continue scrolling here, and this will load in as you go. You can continue go down to the page, and all the sites will load in as you go. I think currently we have a limit of 500,000 site collections in the list, and we found out actually yesterday that we increased the limit to something like, what is it, Trent?
1 million site collections per tenant.
1 million site collections. So super powerful. There's a lot of work here on this page. We know it's super important for you, this page. We want to make sure it's simple for you, and there's really powerful tools. Search, filter is going to be really important to you. And as you just saw, another blue teaching bubble disappeared, but it's pointing to the views. We know views is something really powerful. And views has been there for a little while now, but we've received feedback from all of you asking like to have something available like views. And because again, this is a new UI, we totally get it, you're in this transition. That's something that was missing, and we want to make sure that we call that out. That's why this in-product teaching bubble is pointing to views to make sure that you take advantage of it. It's super powerful. We want to make sure that you don't miss it. So views, if I click through it, you see there's some built-in views that we have created for you. Since this site, a list of sites now has Office 365 group connected sites as well, you can limit the list to show only Office 365 group connected sites. Or you can do the opposite and show all the sites without a group connected. We have larger sites, least active sites. We have a lot of built-in views that we already preset for you, but something cool is you can create your own views, create something that is important to you. So for Megan and for Contos Electronics, external sharing is really important to them. So she goes ahead and adds external sharing column into the view, into the list. And by doing so, again, you see one of these animating teaching bubbles. Again, we do this to make sure that you take advantage of the power that we have to give to you. Like we're calling out here that this view, if you want to reuse it again, save the view. So every time you come to the active site page, you don't have to go and add that column again and again. You save this view. So Megan goes ahead and saves this view as external sharing. Save that view. And now this view, any admin within this tenant can access this view at any time. Like Megan can even take it a step further, and she can make this view as her default view. So now, within the tenant, anyone who gets to the active sites view will land now on this external sharing view, just like that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you can clap.
Something else I want to call out here that is really powerful is since I touched on Office 365 group connected sites, it's like we now allow you as a SharePoint admin to manage Office 365 group connected sites straight from the SharePoint admin center. You used to have to be a global admin for this. No longer you can do that as a SharePoint admin. So let me show what that means. So in the scenario from Megan, we had Nestor Wilk, who just onboarded as the new Director of Operations inside of Contoso Electronics, reached out to Megan to please make sure that he has access to the operations site. So Megan can go in and she can use the power of search by operations. Here's operation sites. She sees that this site is a team site and that primary admins are group connected or group owners. So she can select this site. Previously, there's two ways of doing it. You can select to see the details information panel, and you can go add and remove owners right from here. But some of these really important actions that we know you want to take frequently, we just brought to the command bar, so it's much quicker to take action on it. So from the command bar, you can change group owners, and Megan can add Nestor Wilk. Just like that, Nestor is being added to the group. So he's now a group owner of our operations site and has full access to the group and to the site. Megan can even take it further and manage any of the group connected sites, the life cycles. If I go back, you can filter down by the Office 365 group site view. Any of these sites, and let me take manufacturing, can be deleted even though it's connected to an Office 365 group. Because we allow to delete, we want to make sure that we call out with a separate dialogue that Megan, as the admin, that she realizes this is a different site from all the other sites in the list. This is something that has a connection with the group, so there could be shared mailbox, shared calendar, there can be planner task be associated with that. So we warn her, if you delete this, all those resources will be deleted as well. So Megan needs to confirm, and she can go ahead and delete. You see our progress indicator that keeps track of your process. Site is deleted, and just like that, your Office 365 group connected site can be deleted very quickly. Now, no worries if Megan by accident deleted the wrong site. Manufacturing is already here. She can select the site, and she can restore it, and just like that, we can bring back the site and the group and bring it back into the active sites list. Cool, right? Lastly, I'll call out, before I hand it over to Trent, we see, go to all sites, start off by saying, like, we love your feedback. We want your feedback. We really want your feedback so bad that we put it front and center down at the bottom, and we've received a lot of feedback. It's like, hey, it's blocking my view. It's blocking content on the page. It's blocking something in the list. As you select something, it's blocking view here. So we heard that feedback, great feedback. So we addressed it by, it will be there on default because it's important for us to get your feedback. But we offered a button to collapse it, so you can collapse the view, or you can collapse the button, and you can expand it again, and it opens up. So again, something that we hear from you, we react to it, and we make sure that we address that kind of feedback. If I go back to the slides to just recap what we saw. First, we looked at classic features. Super powerful, that you can now stay within the new experience where we really want you to do your work. You now do not have to go back to get to all those features and settings that are available in the classic, in the old admin center. We brought them front and center into the new experience. You can always get back to it straight from there. No need to jump back and forth. We have custom views. We showed you the custom views and the power of custom views. We have a set of built-in custom views. You can create your own custom views, and you can make it your default view as well. These teaching bubbles, as we see, we're not calling it out separately, but that's something that I think will really help you guide through your experience in the new UI, and help call out the things that we know that are important to you. These are the things like how we communicate with you. Like, we've heard feedback like, hey, there's a lot of new things coming, and we're not always sure like exactly what they are and where they are. You'll see these things to address that. Like, we'll call out the things that are really powerful capabilities that we know we want to take advantage of, and we'll use these this mechanism, like those blue call-outs, to talk to you about that. And lastly, we showed you group management. So we saw how Megan quickly added, and she can remove as well, group owners as a SharePoint admin within the SharePoint Admin Center, just like that. And she can manage the life cycle of group sites as well. She can delete group connected sites, and she can restore Office 365 group connected sites, all as a SharePoint admin from the SharePoint Admin Center. All right, I know that was a lot, but we have a lot more. Trent will take you through a next set of simple and powerful tools. Take it away, Trent.
Awesome. Thank you, Deiter. A lot of awesome tools. Some of them are available today in the Admin Center, and some are available in the next few months, as Deiter said. I'm personally looking forward to continued feedback from all of you, good and bad, about these features so we can keep making them as powerful as possible for all of you. Now I'm going to jump back into the demo and show you the next set of tools. Again, these tools are going to be available in the next few months, and some of them are already there today. I want to reiterate real quickly that I'm going to be playing Megan. Megan Bowen is the tenant admin of Contoso Electronics. In this first scenario, Megan received an email, a frantic email from the Mark 8 project team. And the Mark 8 team can no longer sync or save any files because they're completely out of storage. And thus, they have emailed Megan urgently asking for more storage to get back to work. Well, luckily for Megan, and as you all may have seen because it's available today, Megan can set the site storage limits for any site directly from the active sites list. Let's see how that works. She starts by looking for the site at hand. At this case, it's the Mark 8 team. And she can verify, oops, I'm going to go to a different view real quick. She can verify right away that we're actually completely out of storage, 100%, and this team is entirely blocked. She can change this really easily by selecting the site, going to storage, and changing from 200 gigabytes to 2,000. She can even turn on notifications. So the next time the Mark 8 team is low on storage, they'll know before they stop saving their files, and it won't be quite so urgent when they email Megan. She can click save, and it'll update right away. When it finishes, you'll see it change directly in the active sites list, and now they're only at 10% capacity, and they can go back to work. Way to go, Megan. Better yet, Megan can go to settings here and click on site storage limits and change to automatic. This is actually the Microsoft recommended practice. This allows SharePoint to manage all of your site storage for you and allow you to have your teams be more productive and not interrupted every time they're out of storage. What this does behind the scenes is actually give you 25 terabytes per site, and now Megan can take a step back as an admin and just audit to make sure that no site uses too much storage. When she clicks save and goes back to the active sites list, she'll see that there's no more a percent used column because there's no more storage quota for every single site. Awesome. This next scenario deals with hubs. I want to take a show of hands in the room. How many of you today have used hubs? Awesome. Lots of you. I love it. For those of you who haven't used hubs yet, I'm going to do a quick run through of what hubs are. Hubs are a relatively new feature to SharePoint. They allow you to organize sites in a way that follows your organizational structure and allows you to be productive as a company no matter how many sites you have. I can jump into the Work at Contoso Hub, and you can see a couple indicative features of hub sites. At the top, you can see this header. We call it the hub nav. It has links to other sites beneath the Work at Contoso hub. Next, you can see news here and events. These are two things that roll up from sites beneath this hub site and allow you to come to one location, this Work at Contoso hub, every day for your latest updates from news and events from all the sites beneath the Work at Contoso hub. I can jump into one of these other sites. In this case, I'll jump into development. And you can see that it also uses the same branding, this hub nav at the top for Work at Contoso, and all the sites beneath this Work at Contoso hub get this hub navigation. I'll let you learn more about hubs from Melissa's talk today at 2:30, which is going to deep dive into hubs. I'm now going to show you how you can manage them and leverage them directly from the active sites list of the Admin Center. Back in the active sites list, Megan, in this scenario, has been asked by Nestor Wilk, the same Nestor Wilk that we saw Deiter help before. In this case, Nestor has asked Megan to create a new operations hub site. On top of that, he wants Megan to associate a bunch of new communication sites that Nestor has made with this new operations hub. It's a tall ask, but I think Megan can handle it with the power of the active sites list. She starts by looking for the operations site that we saw before. She can open this site, and you'll see that there is currently no navigation at the top, no hub nav, because as of right now, this operations site is not a hub. That's easy to fix. Directly from the active sites list, she can go to hub site, click register as a hub site, and enter a new name. In this case, operations. When she saves, you'll see it update in the hub site association column of the active sites list, and when she refreshes the operations site, hopefully, we'll see a hub navigation. And there it is. It's that fast, it's that easy, it is now a hub site. The second half of Nestor's ask was to associate a bunch of new sites, communication sites that are all related to operations, with this new operations hub. That's also doable, but Megan can do this by first harnessing the power of the active sites list. She can start by filtering by template. In this case, they're all communication sites. And then she can filter by primary admin, in this case, Nestor Wilk. Finally, she can sort by created on, the date, newer to older, and this way we can see the newest sites that Nestor made to join the operations hub. Of the 7 sites returned, the top 5 look like they're going to be part of this operations hub site because the bottom 2 are already part of the Work at Contoso hub. So now Megan has to find a way to associate these 5 sites with the operations hub site. Today, there's a really easy way to do this. You can click on a site, go to a hub site, and associate with a hub site. She can then select operations and click save, and when she does, again, you'll see it update directly in the hub site association column. That works well today. But as you saw with Navjot's demo during the keynote yesterday, we have a brand new feature that we've made because of all the feedback we've heard from you called bulk operations. This allows Megan to streamline her work process and actually associate all 5 sites in one gesture. Let's see how it works. She can multi-select these 5 sites by either shift-clicking and clicking all 5, or by selecting all with this button here and deselecting the bottom 2. Once she has selected all 5 sites, she can go to the bulk edit button, and she can look at the options under bulk edit. Today, we offer sharing, delete, and hub site association. We plan to expand this list in the future, so stay tuned. But in this case, Megan is looking for just the hub site association gesture. She clicks this, goes to operations, and clicks save. It updates all 5 sites, and when it finishes, hopefully quickly, it should update again directly in the hub site association column. Give it a second, and there it is. All 5 sites, 1 gesture. How cool is that? Yeah, you can clap. To verify that it worked, she can jump to any one of these sites, and again, you'll see that it also has the hub navigation at top, meaning that it is part of the operations hub. Now, Megan actually recalls that she had a conversation with Nestor Wilk last week about why they're making these, this new operations hub. The reason is because they have a partnership with another company for all things operations related. This means that they will need to share files externally with that other company. However, if she looks at the, I'm going to quickly add the external sharing column. If she looks at the external sharing column, she can see that all 5 sites are currently off for external sharing. This means that Nestor is going to come back in a day and ask her to add external sharing. She can get ahead of this ask and actually, again, leveraging the power of the bulk edit function in the command bar, she can change sharing for all 5 sites at once. She can click sharing, go to new and existing guests. This means that all the guests from this partner company will have to sign in and they can access the documents that are being shared with them. When Megan clicks save, she will see in the column that they will turn from off to on, and there it is. She has empowered all of those users to share sites, share documents with the partner company. Way to go, Megan. Great. I'm going to jump back to the slide deck and quickly recap what we covered. Oh, it's over here. So we covered bulk actions. Again, a really, really powerful feature. Right now we have external sharing, hub site association, and delete. We plan to bring more, but this is an awesome feature that allows you to move out of PowerShell and still have the power of bulk operations directly in the UI. Second, we covered hub site management. You saw me register a site as a hub site and associate, again, in bulk, 5 sites with this new hub site. And last but not least was storage limits. We were able to change the storage limit for any site, and better yet, you can go to the settings and change the storage policy for the entire tenant and let Microsoft and SharePoint manage all your site storage for you.
Awesome, thank you, Trent. As Trent is ready to set up for the next demos, I just want to pause for a second and highlight the things that we saw. So everything that was part of today will be part of our wave 3, like of the release that we'll be bringing to you towards June. Everything that we saw will be part of that. And again, most of that, as we try to touch on as we show off these new features and capabilities, is based on feedback that we hear from you, things that you expect, things that you need. So that's part of today. Next, Trent will continue with some of the demos and some exciting new announcements on what you can expect next in the admin space and things that we hope to bring to you later this year. Trent?
Thank you, Deiter. A lot of awesome things I've shown already, but these next 2 I think you're all going to like a lot as well. This first feature was really well liked by the keynote yesterday. I think you've all been looking forward to it for a while, and it's finally coming to the admin UI in the next few months. It's called Site Rename. We're bringing to the modern Admin Center UI the ability, you can clap, I'm seeing clapping. We're bringing the ability to change the URL for sites directly to the active sites list. I'm just going to show you how that works back in the demo here. So in this scenario, we have decided to rename the Contoso Electronics R&D site to a new URL and a new name called Labs. We decided to rebrand it as Contoso Labs. I can do this rebranding directly from the active sites. I can select the site I want to rename, click the edit button next to the URL in the info panel, and it will bring up a panel asking me for the new URL. In this case, I'm going to call it Labs. It will then verify that this is a valid URL that I can move to and nothing's already there. When I click Save, it will prompt me to change the site name as well. I'll click yes in this case and call it Contoso Labs. Now what this is doing under the hood is more than just changing the string of the URL. It's making sure that every single workload within Office 365 that uses this site URL will not break because of this rename. Most importantly, it is adding a smart redirector from the old URL to the new one. This way, anytime someone tries to sync files to or tries to visit this URL, they will automatically and seamlessly be redirected to the new one. It's finished here in the active sites list. Let's go see if it worked. First, I'm going to check the new URL. In this case, it's called Labs. If I open it, hopefully this works. Whew, there you go. Labs, the new URL worked. More importantly, I can go to the old URL and double check that it redirects me to the new one. In this case, I'm going to type in RD, and you can see up here it automatically redirected me to Labs, and therefore there's no loss of experience for the end user just trying to hit the old URL. Awesome. This next feature has also been asked for a lot. We've made a lot of progress in SharePoint over the past decade and beyond, and we've worked really hard to modernize all of your experiences. However, I'm sure many of you today still live with a classic team site as your root site. Well, I'm happy to announce that we are bringing the ability to the modern admin experience right now in PowerShell, hopefully eventually to the UI, to modernize the root site and swap it out with a modern site. This can be done with a communication site, or it can be done with the newly revealed home sites, these really powerful sites that show off the capabilities of modern SharePoint sites. I'm going to jump back to the demo and show you how this works. So the scenario here is that I have my root site. It is this classic team site that I've had for a while. I've built up in parallel and already tested this future root site. And you can see it's a much more beautiful site, leveraging modern web parts, and in this case, it's a modern communication site, and I'd love for this to become my root site. I can kick off a PowerShell commandlet here, and I'll talk to you about what it's doing under the hood for this one. Again, I have my classic team site as the root site, and my beautiful modern communication site as the future root site, and I kicked out this PowerShell job. What it's doing is it's first going to move the root site to an archive location so I can save that and still be able to access that site later. Second, it's going to move the modern communication site from the future root site URL to the root site itself. What differs between this and the site rename feature is that it does not place a redirector, obviously. This way, when people go to the root site, they'll hit the modern communication site. The PowerShell job I kicked off before just finished. Let's go see if it actually worked. First, I can make sure that my old site is saved. I can go to /site/archive URL, and hopefully I'll see my classic team site. There it is. This information is still saved. Better yet, I have to go make sure that the modern SharePoint, modern communication site is now at the root. I'll open the root, and hopefully, give it a second. Hopefully this works. Whew, I was worried, Deiter.
I wasn't, it always works.
And there it is, the modern communication site at the root. Awesome. I'm now going to head back to Deiter to talk to you more about the next steps for the Admin Center.
Thank you, Trent. Exciting work. Okay, so up till now, we've been talking about how we're really improving the experience for the SharePoint Admin Center, for the SharePoint admin. We are, in parallel, we have started a different journey that helps improve the admin across all the Microsoft 365 admin centers. We know there's a lot of admins out here in the room and outside that live between those different admin centers. You have to jump between different admin centers, and because they're all built in isolation a long time ago and they all have a lot of legacy, that experience is not seamless. Like, they all are built in their own ways and they follow their own standards. So something what we're really working towards now, and started this journey in parallel with what we have going on the SharePoint admin experience, is how can we create, or how we can make this experience when you go between different admin centers more seamless. You don't have to relearn everything or have to try and find something when you hop between the different admin centers. So it's an exciting effort that we've started. We actually kicked it off as a design effort where we set together all designers from all the Microsoft 365 admin centers and looked at an audit like the current experiences and how can we align, where can we align on common patterns, common UX patterns. So when you jump between different admin centers and you see a list and you open up details in a list, it always opens up the same way. You see the same style of list. You see the same interactions. So to make this pretty seamless and straightforward. Now we have the writers working together to make sure that you have a consistent voice. We're using the same names for the same thing. And even cooler is like our engineers are now all working together. So all the devs are working together between the admin centers and creating common controls. So we're not just trying to look like each other, we actually reuse each other's code. So we create these common controls that we share between the admin centers, which is super exciting, and it's a big effort, but I'd love to give you a little bit of an insight and show you where we currently are in that journey. So I want to start in the Microsoft 365 admin center. Those who've been there, you can already try it out in the preview. Some of the things I want to highlight is this navigation. We have a new control that every admin center is picking up. It's the left navigation control. You can expand and collapse the navigation, which allows you to get more real estate and less visual noise when you look at the content on the page. In this case, dashboard, if you look at a list view, it allows for more space to add another column in view. So just more importance and more focus on the content that you're looking at. Something else that comes as part of the control from the left navigation is we allow you to customize the navigation. You see here all the navigation nodes. You can select which one that you want, which one you do not want. So to tailor this navigation to something that really works for you. Super powerful and very exciting work. Save this. Since we're on the dashboard, I want to show a little bit about this dashboard. The dashboard has different cards. These cards you can drag and drop. It's all based on React. You can drag and drop, you can move things to the top, to the bottom. Again, tailor it to something that really works for you. You can hide cards, like if your role is specific to something and you don't care about the things that are currently there, you can customize it and show the cards that you really care about. We also allow you to customize that view. So the dashboard, you can add more cards. You can just drag and drop the cards into the view. And this way, again, make this a real homepage for you, like tailored to what is important to you and what matters to you. This is something, the dashboard, that is coming to SharePoint Admin Center soon as well. I wanted to show you what that means when we talk about coherence. I'm looking now at the Security Admin Center. You see the same left navigation control. You see the same dashboard control style with the cards. You can add, remove, and rearrange. Compliance Admin Center, again, very similar, same left navigation control, and the same with the dashboard. So something we're working on in SharePoint as well, and we hope to be able to show to you that work by Ignite. Something else I want to highlight as part of this coherent effort is, let me open up a list view. Go to users, active users. This is a current list. When we select any item in the list, it now opens up a big panel, so it allows for much more real estate to show the content. It gets more prominence. We really focus on the content. That's really what we're doing here. So the coherence effort is not just look and feel. We get a lot of extra capabilities and a lot of enhancement that comes with it. Like the expanding of the left navigation, nothing to do with look and feel. It just allows for more focus on content. The same thing with this details information panel here. So I'm not sure I can quick hop. So currently, when we open up a details pane, it opens up the pane on the right. It's a long list and you scroll through it to find your content. What we're doing in M365, Microsoft 365, is now moving that into and reorganizing it into a bigger pane. We introduced these pivots, as we call them, tabs across the top to organize content based on something that makes sense and intent of you as the admin. So it's quickly to find content that you're looking for, and it's just much better organized. As the SharePoint admin team, this is something that we prioritize and that we're working on. I want to give you the sneak peek. So this is still work in progress. You won't be seeing it yet, but it's something that we think is super powerful. So we prioritize this work and hope to bring it to you soon. So you saw the previous experience. Currently, you open up an item in the list, and we have that exact same control. The details view that now comes out with that's much more real estate. and you have the pivots at the top. Again, it's work in progress, not every pivot is there yet. We'll be introducing a permission pivot as well, but you can see where we're going, like organizing the content, structuring it, making sure that if your intent is to manage permissions, if your intent is to manage policies, you can jump straight into it and do what you need to do without having to scroll to a long list. Something else that we're doing in parallel, and that's part of the Microsoft 365 coherence effort, is OneDrive for Business. We were looking at OneDrive for Business. This is the current homepage for the OneDrive for Business Admin Center. It's been built a while back. It hasn't really been touched. So we want to modernize this. And as part of the Microsoft 365 Admin Center coherence effort, we're consolidating the OneDrive Admin Center inside of the SharePoint Admin Center. So we do that, one, to modernize this experience, but two, and even more important, there's a lot of tight coupling between OneDrive and SharePoint, access policies, sharing, and we hear there's a lot of confusion about like where do I do this and which impacts which. Bring it all into one place will reduce that confusion. So that's what we're reacting to on your feedback. So what that means, and I'll hop back to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Again, this is something that we'll be working on soon. Can't really show yet, but I can explain it to you based on what we were looking at here. So we have imagine a SharePoint Admin Center dashboard where we said we have cards and cards available that you can customize, you can drag to the top, you can remove cards, and you can add new cards. Now imagine OneDrive and SharePoint cards here. We offer you both. If you only are here to manage OneDrive, like you can go and hide all the SharePoint cards. You can remove those, and you can only keep the OneDrive cards that are available to you. If you want to bring something in later, when you're ready for it, you can go, and the idea is that all these cards will be both SharePoint and OneDrive. And again, you can customize this dashboard to make it work for you and things that are important to you. Same thing with the left navigation where I showed you how you can customize the navigation. It offers us a way to make sure that once OneDrive consolidates inside of SharePoint, that things are still super organized. We want to make sure there's no confusion, like which one is OneDrive specific, which one is SharePoint. So we tailor this and we make it customizable so you can select what you want to see on the navigation on the dashboard. Lastly, I'll call out what this means in the list view, in the settings view. You hop into settings. So within settings, and this is a current pattern that we align across all the Microsoft 365 admin centers, every setting, when there's different app-specific settings, we call it out with the identity in front of the setting to clearly keep it separated. And this is something I'll show you some mocks. I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek into what we're looking at. This is a screen that looks at what would OneDrive and SharePoint Admin Center look like. This will be the dashboard. Here we're looking at a view that has both OneDrive and SharePoint. So we show cards that has both OneDrive and SharePoint. For settings, same thing. We want to make sure that it's very clearly separated which one is OneDrive, which one is SharePoint. We have the identity in front of it, so there's no confusion which one is which. Again, if you do not care about the SharePoint, managing SharePoint, like you can go in the edit the navigation and it updates your entire experience, so you'll only see the OneDrive settings here. So this is work in progress, things that's top of mind of us that we're working towards. It'll be a long road, but we hope to keep bringing it to you as we go and getting feedback. We're right at closing, and that'll open up for questions.
Will the Office 365 mobile admin app be getting an update soon?
We'll touch it on in just a minute. I'll take that one next. Sorry. I just want a quick recap and summarize, and then we'll open it up for questions. We have some time left. Things that we looked at: site rename. Trent showed you the demo of how to easily change the address of any site. We looked at modernizing the root site. You can now use those very cool new modern communication sites, like the home site that was announced yesterday. You can put that now at your root instead of your classic team site. And we looked at the Microsoft 365 admin coherence effort, which is both creating a coherent experience between all the different admin center, as well as consolidating the OneDrive admin center with the SharePoint admin center. With that, we're at the end of the session. Quick want to summarize the things that we looked at One, as I started saying, like we really feel comfortable to tell you this new admin experience is the right place for you. Like this should be the place where you should be doing your work. Everything that we do is to make you successful and productive. We feel like that's the right place to do it. Please give it a try, make it your default. If it doesn't work, give us feedback. We would love to hear why you think it doesn't work. Let us know why it works too. We love positive feedback too, of course. So that's one action item. I would please give it a try, let us know how it works. And then we have a lot of work coming up, things as exciting this year has been. I'm really looking forward to even what we can bring to you next. There's a lot of delightful work coming up, so super passionate and excited about that. You want to walk through the roadmap, Trent?
Yeah, sure. I wanted to put up a quick roadmap so you guys can keep us honest with the plan for these next features. Really quickly, we have bulk actions, the classic and modern features, site rename, and the teachable levels that are all coming out in the next few months. Later this year, we're going to see more coherency, as Deiter's been saying, between us and the Microsoft Admin Center. We're also going to bring the ability to manage classification labels to the active sites list later this year. And then finally, that root site swap gesture from PowerShell is coming later this year, and hopefully eventually to the UI. Top of mind, again, is bringing the OneDrive and the SharePoint Admin Centers together, and also furthering the coherence effort to make the Admin Centers much more alike in terms of look and feel, and then also functionality. If there's one takeaway from today, I want it to be this: try the new Admin Center, make it your default, and give us feedback for what you like and what you don't like. Here's some sessions that we think you might want to attend, a deep dive into some of the features we touched on, and then also you can always visit us and our team at the Security and Compliance booth today and tomorrow. Finally, thank you all for coming, and we are going to open up for questions here.